Guys, maybe it's time that if the oath takers aren't going to be oath keepers, maybe it's time the citizens take back their country, their republic. I don't know where these politicians get off thinking that if they get elected into a position, they can do as they will. And they've been doing it for decades, folks. Doesn't matter who was in office, Republicans or Democrats. They seem to think that when they get elected, they are now kings or no woman has been elected as president, so I can't say kings or queens. As far as I hope, in my lifetime, a woman never gets elected because that's mocking God's word. Now, I don't understand this, folks. Somebody's going to have to explain this to this dumbass hillbilly. Representatives are not rulers. How in the world do they think if they get elected, they become wealthy and all powerful? They can do whatever they want. Harris thinks she's going to do a buyback. You ain't got enough money to buy my guns, lady. Not even enough in your entire Federal Reserve borrowed money will you ever be able to buy back my guns. Now, you might be able to stop oil. You might be able to make it all electric cars. I won't drive one of them. I'll go back to horse, and I'm allergic to them. I'll take a pill for that. You people who think that the Democrats can just do as they will, like they have in this election up till now, Biden ran for the nominee, got millions and millions of votes, actually won the nominee. And then they told him, no, you ain't going to win. So we're going to put your vice president in. Where in the world, in the Constitution of the United States, does it say they get to pick and choose? After they've done had an election and nominated somebody through the election process, that they can force that clown out of office or off of the ticket and pick and choose whoever they want to go on it. People, you guys you're being lied to so bad that it's not even funny. And this is why I say, if the oath takers aren't going to keep their oaths, then the citizens need to take back their republic. And starting with using the sheriffs to do so as right off the bat. You go to your sheriff's department, you talk to your sheriff. If he don't want to follow the Constitution, you put handcuffs on him and put him in jail until he can go to trial. Charge him with treason. Then you can choose somebody at that point to take that office until you can hold an emergency election to replace that person with the people in the town and who they want to replace him with, or him or her with. If the sheriffs don't want to follow the Constitution and keep their oaths, they should not be in office. Once you get all your sheriffs in your state, I've told this story many times in 20 years. Once you get your sheriffs back in the Constitution and their oaths, you take them and go to the mayors of your towns. You ask the mayors, are you going to follow the Constitution and follow your oath? And if they're not willing to do that, the sheriff arrests the mayor, puts him in jail awaiting trial for treason, and they choose somebody to take that position who's going to follow the Constitution until you can do an emergency election and get somebody in there that everybody chooses. This is how the Constitution is written, folks. This ain't nothing new. It was written in 1776. Once you get your mayors all following the Constitution, you go to your governor. Once you got all your mayors and all your sheriffs in all the counties together, you go to your governor and ask him the same thing. Are you going to follow the Constitution and your oath? And if he's not willing, you do the same thing to him. The Constitution says you have the right to do that. These people that are in the military are supposed to be following the Constitution. The soldiers, all of them. They swore an oath as well. And if you get this going, if the governor's wanting to mess around, you call up the National Guard. The National Guard's supposed to be the body who protects that state, upholds the Constitution, and keeps the peace if necessary. Now, once all 50 states get this done, the clowns in Washington, D.C., they'll either fall in line or be arrested for treason as well. Folks, 200 years ago, these people wouldn't have done this stuff. They used to drag these politicians out into public, pour hot tar on them, and a bunch of feathers. Tar and feather, folks, that's where that comes from. Send them people walking. See, the problem is today, if you get elected into a position, you've won the lottery. Maybe you have $100,000, you get elected into a governor's office, or a couple of $100,000, whatever. Or you get elected into a Senate or a congressional seat. It's a lottery ticket. Look at AOC. Barfly waitress, probably making, let's give her $70,000 a year if she worked in the good restaurants where big tips came along. She gets elected into a position that's making $174,000 a year. First year, millionaire. Today, she's worth $28 million, making $174,000 a year. Now, let me tell you how they do this, folks. They all write books. Every person that's a politician writes some kind of a book, and they claim that book was on the bestsellers list for 2.5 years. That's how I made all my millions. I've never bought a book that was written by a politician as of yet. I'm in my 60s. Never seen a book other than that, a yard sale that was ever written by a president. You see, people, this is a clown show. There are no elections that aren't rigged. So just like Trump said, he's got to win so big, there's no way they can rig it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm voting for him. Because I'll be damned if Harris and Walz, that lying, he's a bigger liar than she is. That's why she picked him. If you clowns think this is, I guarantee you this, folks. If Harrison Walz gets elected, you're being punished by God. There's no doubt about that. And I'll tell you this as well. If Trump gets elected and he don't do everything that he can to carry out what he's saying he's going to do, and he's been lying to us, don't worry about it. Jesus has got him. Jesus going to take care of him. Make no doubt about that. And if you don't believe that, watch and see. Seek Jesus, or you'll follow anybody.